everybody, it's Dennis. So I'm going to touch base on step 4 again. I spoke about it before more as a cautionary, saying do not get stuck on this step because you'll stay there forever if you just turn it into this Goliath that you just can't conquer. It is not that. It is something that you should be able to do if you want to do it in the afternoon, that's fine, but you should not turn it into this gigantic project. I've seen people with notebooks and notebooks putting together their step 4. That's insane. And if you're doing that, you're doing it wrong because you're just not that important that you've done so much bad. You're just not. I mean, there's maybe a couple people, but really the average person does not need notebook after notebook for step 4. So you need to just start. I'm not telling you, I'm suggesting that you start from when you started drinking. And the other thing I'm going to also caution you on is people often will say, well, I did this to myself, and this is the harm that I did to myself. No. That's not what this is about. And I'll get into why this isn't about that. This is about harm you did. And then it's about the common theme of you doing harm. So if you got really angry because somebody owed you some money and they never paid you, and you got really, really angry and you made a big deal out of it when you were drunk, and you called them or you did something like that, and you say you just lost your temper over something that was not worth it. So you put that down, and I really hurt my friend Mark or whatever. And then you have another one where this person at work, they did something to you and you lost your temper again. You were drunk at the time and whatever, you called them up, and the common theme here is you're angry a lot, and you're unreasonably angry. And you have this, you could go to the 7 deadlies and say, oh, it's wrath. You don't need to turn it also into some thesis trying to connect the dots. It should just normally happen. And really, if you don't even do that, you're fine. The reason why we talk about the common problems that we have, if it's wrath, or if it's one of the 7 deadlies, so if it's pride, or if it's lust or envy, whatever. So any of these things that just keep coming up over and over, the reason why we do that is because it's going to be needed in step 6 and 7. And so it's a good idea to have an idea. It's a good idea to have an idea that of why you are acting out and why there's this common theme about your personality that really needs to be fixed and needs to be looked at. And that's why step 4 is important for future, right? That's why I say you don't need to turn it into this gigantic project, because it's less about that. I mean, you're also going to need it for steps 8 and 9 too, I guess. But we'll talk about that later down the road. But it is good to have the names of people that you hurt and put them down there, and specifically what happened. And if you miss something, you do it wrong, you don't fully get it, because I'm going to tell you, I was in oblivion some of the times that I hurt people. I have no memory of it at all. And it's a mixed blessing, I guess. But I just really want to emphasize, try to keep it simple. Try to keep 4 simple. And understand the purpose of 4 is to put together something that you can tell somebody else, because it's going to be needed in the next step. And I'm going to talk about that in a little minute. But you need to keep in mind that you're going to be telling somebody all this. That doesn't mean hold back. That just means you're going to have to keep it within, you don't want to keep the person for 3 hours talking on and on and on. And like I said, you do not want to be talking about yourself too much and how you humiliated yourself, because then it turns into you, it becomes prideful, right? And as I look back and I feel horrified by some of the things that I did and said, but nobody was really damaged, and I was just really humiliated. And that doesn't really belong on a step 4 as far as I'm concerned. It's something that you have to deal with, and that's another story we can talk about maybe. But it is really about the people that you harmed, how you harmed them. Is there a common theme? can I talk about this, or you know, I'm going to be talking about this. I'm not even going to say, am I ready? Because you're not. You're just going to do it, right? That's some of these things. You don't have to say, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Just do it. So there it is. Step 4. It's don't turn it into a thesis. You don't need several notebooks, right? You don't need notebooks. You just need a couple pieces of paper. Go through it. You can do it in an afternoon if you want. And here's the other thing. You can do it again if you want. My first time, I don't remember really, but it was my first time, and I've done it at least 4 times. And, you know, it gets more and more simple because as you get more sober, you understand the more important things that happen along the way. Anyway, there it is, step 4. I'll talk about step 5 in a minute. Thanks.